Well, hello everyone. Thanks for taking time to listen. Today I'm going to be going over some more information about the Mofa 7 and what Hannah Arendt made of thought. This comes from the film Seoul Train, about a group of refugees who were unfortunately sent back to North Korea and have not been heard from since. All right, to analyze the Mofa 7 refugees situation throughout Hannah Arendt's work, it is important to first understand the incident. The Mofa 7 The Mofa 7 refers to 7 North Korean asylum seekers who are attempting to reach Seoul by seeking help at the United Nations Refugee Agency in Beijing. However, in a tragic turn of events, they were arrested by Chinese authorities and repatriated to North Korea. This incident, which received international attention and was documented in the film Seoul Train, stands in stark contrast to a separate, successful asylum attempt reported by UN News, where 7 other North Korean asylum seekers were successfully relocated to Seoul from China in 2001. Arendt's work, particularly her writings on statelessness, human rights, and nature of totalitarianism, provides a critical lens for examining the injustice of the Mofa 7's fate, the right to have rights. The most central Arendtian concept applicable here is the right to have rights, which she developed in The Origins of Totalitarianism. This concept argues that the most fundamental human right is to belong to a political community that can guarantee one's rights. Without the protection of a state, a person's so-called inalienable rights are effectively meaningless. Political belonging. The Mofa 7 were stripped of their North Korean citizenship and were denied entry into South Korea, leaving them stateless. This puts them in a position of complete rightlessness, where no state was responsible for their well-being or legal protection. The paradox of human rights. Arendt observed that human rights proved ineffective for stateless people because no sovereign state was bound to recognize them. The Mofa 7 were betrayed by this very paradox. China, as a signatory to the 1951 Refugee Convention, had a legal obligation not to repel them, but it acted in the interest of its own sovereign power by cooperating with North Korea to repatriate them. The violence of the nation-state. Arendtian's analysis of the nation-state reveals how its internal logic can produce superfluous human beings who are excluded from the political realm. The Mofa 7, like the Jewish refugees Arendt wrote about, were seen as an inconvenient and superfluous population by both the states they were fleeing and the states they were seeking refuge in. Exclusion as a tool of sovereignty. For Arendt, the power to exclude and contain stateless people is a core function of state sovereignty. In this case, China used its sovereign power to exclude the refugees and accommodate the totalitarian demands of North Korea. Global apartheid. The Mofa 7's fate can be viewed as a manifestation of the global apartheid Arendt described, where the international system of nation-states conspires to marginalize and contain stateless populations. This system prioritizes the security of states over the rights of individuals who do not belong to one. Totalitarianism and the loss of the world. Arendt saw statelessness as a direct result of totalitarian regimes, which produces people who have lost their home, occupation, and language. The Mofa 7, as refugees from North Korea, were attempting to escape the ultimate form of totalitarian control, political death. The Mofa 7's arrest and repatriation represents a form of political death by being returned to North Korea. They were sent back to a system where they would cease to exist as individuals with political rights, effectively erasing their existence from the meaningful world. The vanguard of their people. In her essay, We Refugees, Arendt referred to refugees as the vanguards of their people who, by keeping their identity and resisting assimilation, expose the injustice of the nation-state system. In the same vein, the Mofa 7, in their attempt to flee, exposed the brutal reality of the North Korean regime and the complicity of the Chinese government. The potential for political action, despite the bleakness of their situation. An Arendtian perspective would not necessarily despair. While she was skeptical that the international mechanisms could solve the refugee crisis, she also believed that political action could bring about change. All right, storytelling and political action. For Arendt, storytelling and political narration are crucial forms of political action. The film Soul Train, by bringing the story of the Mofa 7 to a public audience, creates a space for political action by forcing us to confront the reality of their plight. A challenge to the status quo. The tragedy of the Mofa 7 serves as an Arendtian predicament, a crisis that forces us to question the existing political framework. It challenges the fiction that human rights can be protected without belonging to a political community and forces us to confront the dark consequences of a world organized into nation states. Thank you everyone for listening. This I obtained by using a search with artificial intelligence. So this might not be totally correct, but I think it has some good points in it. So thanks for listening. Take care. Like and subscribe.